Live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip, it's Top of the Food Chain. And now your host, he's 1 part Mohawk, 2 parts attitude, and a touch of what the It's Al Mancini.
I love when you pack the audience there, Scott. Thank you so much. Welcome to Top of the Food Chain on the Vegas Video Network. I'm your host, Al Mancini, in an incredibly good mood today because I spent a few hours this afternoon at a local high school. And yeah, 26 years after graduation, I was actually able to step foot in a high school and the popular kids didn't make fun of me. All of my childhood scars are now kind of just melting away. I'm in a shiny, happy mood. I'm finally cool enough to be in a high school. Or just so old that they don't even think it's worth mocking me anymore. Either way, it's great to be back. And it is also great here at Top of the Food Chain one more time to have sponsoring our show Bread and Butter. Chris Herron, one of this town's great chefs, running a real local bakery and sandwich shop over there on Eastern Avenue. I love this place. My wife went in the other day and he gave her some incredible stuff to bring home to me. Got to say, if you're looking for some great treats, he's doing a cake that's kind of an orange and cranberry cake. It's just amazing. I don't usually like cranberries, but out of this world. Also did a brisket brie and leek sandwich. I recommend trying either of those. They're just absolutely phenomenal. Chris, one more time, thanks again for sponsoring the show. I'm proud to have you here as our sponsor. We will be getting to the main part of the show. We've got a great show today. We've got our old friend Gary Lamort. Chef Gary Lamort's going to be here with a member of the Silverado High Culinary Club. And these guys just won a big championship. They're going on to nationals. We're going to be talking all about that, about how to get young people into the world of cooking and being chefs and working in the restaurant biz. And we also have Susan Stapleton with us today, the new, Grand Poobah, I don't know what her position is over at Eater.com's new Vegas chapter. So we'll be talking to both of them. Before we get to that, however, did anybody pick up the RJ's Best of Las Vegas issue on Sunday? Readers of the RJ. Scott, we're still not allowed to curse because I've got to say, these people are friggin' morons that vote in this poll. You are here in one of the greatest food cities in America by far, possibly one of the greatest food cities in the world. And I had to write these things down because they won't even stick in my head. Okay? And if you voted for one of these restaurants, shame on you. Best Italian in Las Vegas, Olive Garden. Okay? Best Chinese, we've got an incredible Chinatown here in Las Vegas. Best Chinese, P.F. Chang's. In-N-Out for best burger. I know there's a little cult of In-N-Out, but I'm not one of their members. Best desserts, we've got some of the greatest pastry chefs in the world. You guys want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Not you, not people that watch this show. You are smart. You're dumb friends who voted in the readers' poll with the RJ. Best steakhouse. There are probably over 100 steakhouses in this town, some of them offering cuts of steak that you can't get anywhere else on the planet. 15-month dry-aged beef at Carnivino. No, you guys want to go to Outback and have a bloomin' onion. Okay? And honestly, the one that probably makes my stomach turn more than any of them, or maybe all of them put together, best seafood. And I want you guys to keep in mind, Paul Bartolotta ships his seafood in from the Mediterranean every day. It's on your table within 14 hours of swimming in the Mediterranean. Same thing at Estatorio Milos from the Mediterranean. You go to Bar Masa, they get it from the Bay of Tokyo. You're eating it 18 hours later. No, you guys go to Red Lobster. Really. This is Best of Las Vegas, and I could go to any podunk town in America and eat this food. You're in a culinary capital, and you are eating stuff that you could eat anywhere. You're bad people. You should not be allowed to eat. You should have to be on bread and water, which, based on what you're eating right now, probably would be an improvement. Anyway, we're going to be back talking to some people that know a bit about good food in just a second.
This is David Ivey from Pub Crawl. It's funny because David from you should just leave it on. Hi, I'm David Ivey from Pub Crawl, and you're watching the Vegas Video Network. And scene.
And we're back on Top of the Food Chain on the Vegas Video Network. I remain your humble, not so humble host, Al Mancini. Got that off my chest. I'm feeling better. If you have anything to rant about, or if you like Red Lobster, and you want to explain why, get in the live chat room right now. Hopefully you're watching us live, and you just click some buttons, and you can talk to me, any of my guests. It's very cool. If you have a question for a future show, email it. It's food@vegasvideonetwork.com. All of the Vegas Video Network shows are available all over the place. Just YouTube, iTunes, whatever you want. And you can listen to them in audio form every Friday night on 1400 AM KSHP. If you want to leave us a little audio message, you don't even have to dial it up anymore. It's right there on your screen. You just click the little button, and then you hit the record button, and hopefully you have a microphone on your computer, and we will play it back. And don't say anything dirty, because we have underage guests this week. So usually I like the dirty talk, but not this week. Anyway, with me right now, an old friend of the show, Chef Gary Lamort. How are you, my brother?
Doing great.
It's good to see you. And Richard Bools of Silverado High School. How are you, man?
Good. How about you?
You served me some incredible food today, so I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really well. We're here to talk about a great program they have going on. It's part of a national program called ProStart, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But it's basically kids in high school that want to go into the food and beverage industry, right? And this is what you guys do. You learn all about it, and they teach you everything, and then you get out and you get scholarships and all kinds of stuff, right? Am I getting at the basics of it?
Yeah, getting the gist. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. You know, people say that chefs are sort of the new rock stars, and I mean, it seems like younger people are getting more into food these days than they were maybe 25 years ago when I was in high school. And it's cool, though, because, you know, before I wrote about food primarily for a living, I wrote about music, rock and roll, and I've interviewed thousands of the top rock bands on the planet and even a few hundred of the bad pop bands like Britney Spears and people like that. I've even met them. And the one thing that always seemed cool to me was that most of these guys that go on to become professional musicians were all in their high school band. You know, I mean, that's where they learned it. But there wasn't something like that when I was young for chefs. And it seems like ProStart really is that. It's the high school band of incubating young talent. I mean, is that how you guys see it?
Yeah, it's been around for 10 years, and it's now grown to 47 states. 90,000 students are involved in America.
Wow.
It's very impressive.
What is the attitude? How old are you?
I'm 16.
16. What's the attitude amongst people your age about, you know, food? I mean, has it become as cool as wanting to grow up and be a rock star? Maybe not quite that cool, but still a cool thing that you want to do?
Yeah, it has become to be one of those type of things. Not so much Rockstar, but yeah, watching Food Network, Get TV, pretty awesome.
Yeah. And so when did you decide that you wanted to go into, and what do you want to do? Do you want to be a chef? You want to work in the restaurant business, front of the house? What is it that you're looking to get out of this?
I want to be a chef, but if not, I want to be like Gary over here and probably be a manager, exec manager.
Right.
Have some fun like that.
He's still a chef. He still cooks. Damn good chef. Who else could make foie gras into a martini? Okay. I know, you're never going to live that one down. It's your finest accomplishment. Or who else could serve me 12 courses of foie gras? But I digress. When did you first start getting into food? And when do you find, you know, people of your generation really find themselves drawn to doing this for a living?
Well, I started like cooking when I would say probably 6th grade. I was always cooking with my family, with my grandma, and mostly my dad. And from there, it's just been something I like doing with my family. Now it's come to competitions and gone way up from there.
So over at Silverado, you guys have about 180 students, I understand, that are involved in it?
Yes.
And how many programs like this are there across the state and across the country?
There's approximately 40 in Nevada, and more than 2,000 participating schools.
Wow.
Across the country.
Cool. And Scott, we've got a question.
Yes, Bools Brothers, somebody's got a relative, wants to know, how far are you guys on donations to go to the national contest?
We were going to get to all of that, but let's cut to the chase. Explain what you guys just won. Okay, first of all, I'm going to cut the short version. 180 kids in Silverado, but there's a culinary team.
Yes.
180 kids in the program. It's sort of like, I guess, your all-star team from the program that you have. Is that the deal?
Yeah, that's how it goes. There's 5 of us with 1 alternate. There's me, there's Aaron Rozek, there's Isabel Montoya, and then there's Aaliyah Morgan with Cody Britton as their alternate.
Okay, so you're the competitive. Like when I was in law school, we had a moot court team, and it's like the guys that go out and represent the school. So even though you have 180 people, you've got this team, and now you just went to the state finals, right?
Yeah, the state competition.
State competition. And how'd you do?
We got first place.
First place is pretty good. Yeah. Not bad. What'd you make?
Well, I personally made the dessert, which is a banana spring roll with bruleed bananas and caramel and raspberry sauce.
And we're going to have a picture of that up shortly. So, but to stay with the train of thought, since you've got family out there, we don't want them to feel neglected.
Yeah.
You now are going on to Baltimore, I believe, or somewhere
Baltimore,
in
Maryland.
Baltimore,
Yes.
Maryland, to compete in the nationals.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I don't have to tell anybody out there, school budgets are not what they used to be, and there ain't a lot of money to send a bunch of kids to go do something really cool. So Gary, our good friend Jolene Menina, who runs the Saturday Night Truck Stop, and a lot of people got together this past Saturday night to try to help you raise a little money. We're selling food. I sold some copies of my book. My publisher was kind enough to donate a portion of the proceeds. How much have you raised?
I think we're at about 6,500.
Really?
Yes.
So you need a couple grand more, I think.
Yep.
And,
We're trying to hit 85.
yeah, and I know that, Joe brought like 2,500 that she raised down there the other
Yes.
night down to your school today. So, and we're going to, I'll just tell people, if you guys want to help these guys out, and I want to make sure I have this right, it's rootfunding.com, www.rootfunding.com, and you can go online there and enter, you have to enter who you're searching for, Silverado, High, Culinary, just enter those as the keywords. It'll come up, and here's the page right there. You can go, you can donate some cash and help these guys go on to do what they were born to do. And, you be generous, people, because they're going to be cooking for you in a few years, and you want them to know what they're doing. So it's in your best interest to help them out. So can you guys explain what people learn as part of this program?
Well, the Pro Start it's much more diverse than just the culinary aspects. Their program is broken down into 25 different segments, ranging from restaurant development and management to pastry to obviously the culinary and everything in between. So it's really supports the industry a lot more than being just a professional chef. Yeah, and a comment on the funds that were raised. That was that money thus far is not corporate sponsorship. Those were Las Vegas hospitality professionals coming together with their money out of their pockets, $20 at a time to put that together. And I think that's amazing, and I'm never failed to be impressed by the community here in Las Vegas. I think they need a lot of credit.
Yeah, and you guys were out, and some of these incredible chefs making food for you. Chef Sean from Prime Steakhouse was out there. Chef Brian Howard, another good friend of this show, cooking on these food trucks, making gourmet food, and 50% of every dollar spent went to you. Like I said, I'm not taking any credit. It's my publishers at Huntington Press, but we were selling copies of my book. 60 cents of every dollar went to you guys. And
we have to thank you so much for that.
And people that already had copies of the book just bought other copies. It was just great, So, this is a great, a great little group of people we have in the foodie community here in Las Vegas, and you're the next people to be part of it. Here's my question: if somebody's out there and either they're in first, let's start with people in Las Vegas. If their school doesn't have a Pro Start, I understand that they can actually enroll in Silverado, right?
Yeah.
And go and enroll in your program. Mm-hmm. So if there are people out there that, right? Mike, did I have it?
Yeah, and schools that are interested in doing it can go to the Pro Start website, and they have pretty clear, concise ways to go about getting involved.
Yeah, and it's run by the National Restaurant Organization,
Yep.
and then the state chapters, of course, coordinate in each state. So if there are chefs out there, or if there are young people who really want to get into food, go to Pro Start and look them up online and check out their website and get involved. Yeah, it's great to have chefs, like Gary, and if you are a chef like Gary who wants to kind of nourish the next generation, I honestly think, get in touch with Pro Start, get in touch with your local school, and, start a chapter. Because, look, guys, we're all going to be eating, and this is the next generation, and we want the food to be good. So, it's a great organization. Scott, another question.
Yeah, David wants to know, when I was a kid, cooking wasn't so cool. So is it more so now, or does Rich just not care whether it's cool or not? He's just doing it.
In all honesty, I'm going to have to say that a lot of people think it's kind of weird, but at the same time, a lot of people think it's pretty awesome because we get to go to Baltimore. We went to the state competition. we were able to compete with everybody, and it's just developed into a maybe not a sports type feel to it, but it's still pretty much the same type thing.
Are there like groupies for you guys like there are for the football team?
No.
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 Man, well,
I saw some at the competition.
yeah,
I saw some.
Yeah, young foodie ladies out there, support the chefs in your and gentlemen, because there are a lot of great women in your program as well. And that's what I found today that was really great. Men and women, and because a lot of times you'll admit in professional kitchens right now, women aren't as represented as they should be.
It's getting a lot better. The industry is moving at lightning speed in all aspects, and I think that like anything else, to be successful, you need strong foundations. So getting involved with people earlier is just going to help Las Vegas come further and farther than it already has. And
Las Vegas chefs, I mean, you guys get in this town, young chefs get incredible opportunities to work in great kitchens.
Yes.
So we need these guys ready the minute they're at the age of 18, ready to go out there and work if they want to. If they choose not to go on to further school, because there's a lot of young chefs in this town and they're doing great work. We've got another question, Scott?
Yes, we do. The Bros. How many brothers do you have, by the way?
Just one.
I don't know what's going on here, but somebody, the Bros, wants to know: will you go on to culinary school?
Yes, I do plan on going to culinary school. Primarily, right now, I plan on going to AI or go to the culinary field in there and take up the culinary arts and management. But if we go to nationals and we place and get a good scholarship, I'm going to plan on going to Johnson & Wales in Colorado.
Oh, excellent school.
Or CIA.
Yeah. Oh, really? You're trying to influence these kids?
Yes, I am. At national competitions this year, ProStart's going to give over $1 million in scholarships to students for culinary school.
Wow. So, yeah, that's amazing. Okay, I want to go through just the restaurant that you're running over at Silverado.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just kind of a converted classroom, but the food you made for me today, and Jacob, if you could just throw a bunch of these up, we'll sort of just scroll through them. We've got the kids, we've got the food, just show, because the food is just amazing, better than half of the restaurants I review for City Life. I mean, here's the team in the kitchen, which is great. There you are, right in the back there. You got
right in the back.
Chef's blacks on instead of your whites.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very Rick Mooney of you. This shrimp and hearts of palms that you gave us as an appetizer, the shrimp was made honestly better than most restaurants where it's always overcooked.
You can thank Aaron for that one.
Your lamb, explain what you did with the lamb for us today.
The lamb was, I believe, braised, and then we also had, the potatoes. And pretty much from there, we had
snow peas. We had our choice of vegetables.
Yes.
And of course, this is the chicken with polenta that you're practicing for the nationals, right? Is this what you're going to be bringing to nationals? That's great. This is what you won, and this is your dessert
that's my
that you
personal
just
dish.
described.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff now. And then now you've got strawberries in season. You just ran us through a whole bunch of incredible strawberry dishes for dessert. They're amazing. Okay, this is open. I mean, pretty much you're feeding the faculty there in your restaurant?
Faculty, parents, and if students want to get away from the class, not supposed to, but they can come in.
But that's okay, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's not when the principal's in there, right? 'Cause
yeah.
I met your principal. He's a very cool guy, but I think he probably would not. He would frown on that.
Yeah.
But so you're cooking for your teachers, man. That's got to put a little bit of the fear of God into them when they're grading you.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. What'd you do? Well, yeah, that D on that exam, huh, man? Mm-hmm. But that must. Anyway, we'll steer clear of that. Seriously, I think what you guys are doing is absolutely amazing. If people want to get involved, they can go to ProStart. Again, one more time, if you want to give some money to help these guys get to nationals, it's rootfunding.com, and then just enter Silverado High Culinary. It'll take you right there. You can make a donation. Gary, man, so much fun always to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have you on,
right,
man.
The
food was incredible today. I really appreciated it. We're going to be back with Susan Stapleton right after this message.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
No pressure. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers from, can't think of the name of my damn show. Golf and other 4-letter words, and you're watching the Vegas Video Network, I think.
And we're back at top of the food chain on the Vegas Video Network. Here with me for the second segment, my good friend, the always lovely Susan Stapleton. How are you?
Thank you for introducing me as one of the underage people in the crowd today. Thanks.
I love the fact that you found out it was an all-ages show, so
Yes.
you've disguised your booze, pretending...
I did. I put a little Diet Coke in there.
What you used to do at the concerts when you were a kid, right? So the
well,
security wouldn't get you?
Some things never change. I am still underage, so.
Of course.
Yes.
I don't know what age you're under, but definitely under my age, so that's, that's not saying
that
much,
matters.
but definitely younger than me. Oh, man. Susan, you and I have written about food and lifestyle, but you were originally mainly a fashion editor here in town, and now you're running eater.com.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I should have gotten that job. I write about food.
Did you apply?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that probably had
I
something
probably
to do
heard
with
it. Yeah, that definitely probably heard it. But no, Eater, for people that aren't out there, Eater.com, a huge national foodie website.
Yes.
And it, of course, has local, you go to Eater.com, you get all the national stuff. But then, of course, you can go to losangeles.eater.com and, all.
San Francisco, there's 17 eaters nationwide.
And you are now the Vegas Eater.
I am Vegas Eater.
Yes. Explain what it is to people, because it's kind of a cross between a website that generates content about food. You go out and you interview people, but it's also a portal where, thank God, you link to my blog. And
all the time.
I don't know why you link to John Curtis's, but you do that too.
I don't know, because he's writing.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's part of a lot of what we do is we generate traffic through linking to things that have to do with the foodie industry. So if you're writing a review, like tomorrow I do my weekend reviews and I'll write about you and what you wrote today in City Paper.
Yeah, and it was City Life.
I'm sorry. I went back to Philadelphia
right?
for a second.
Really?
Sorry,
flashback. And in fact, when I trashed Oscar Goodman's Italian restaurants in Patico, that got on the National Eater website.
Yes, it did. And I was very proud of that.
I was very happy about that myself.
I'm always proud when Vegas gets on national.
So, how big a deal is it that we finally have Eater here in Las Vegas?
It's a big deal. It's something that's been a long time coming. They really wanted to find the right person to handle this. The thing that's great about me is that I'm not a food writer. I'm not a food critic, so to say. I know you guys. I'm going to treat you all equally. I'm going to trash you if I have to.
Treat me better than John.
Well, that's easy. We trashed him today on the site.
I like that you opened your statement with the thing that's great about me.
Yes, the thing that's great about me. Well, no, but I think a lot of people have said, I'm really glad that you're handling the site because I know you don't have any favoritism. You're not a food critic.
You have least favorites.
I do.
I
do.
You seem, if you guys out there think that I had it in for the Review Journal today, go to vegas.eater.com any given day, and Susan will be trashing the RJ.
Yes.
Right?
Rightfully so, though. Listen, they're the newspaper of record for the state of Nevada. They have a responsibility. If you're going to hand out graded reviews to restaurants, you have a responsibility to your readers. And when everything is an A or a B, how am I supposed to decide where to go as a reader of the Review Journal? I can't. Everything's awesome, apparently.
I bet our students from Silverado High would love to be graded on that scale.
Well,
Everything's an A or a
B
B.
scale.
Yes.
That's the scale. But that's meaningless. It's the same with the Best of Las Vegas.
Now, you're coming up, you got a couple great features. Actually, again, Susan doesn't just link to us, and she is a food writer. You've been writing about food for many years to some degree. And you just interviewed, if people want to go to the site right now, because I've yet to interview this man. I've met him, but you interviewed Pierre Gagnère.
Yes, he gave me half an hour. It was very exciting.
Very cool. Pierre Gagnère, who of course runs Twist by Pierre Gagnère.
At Mandarin Oriental.
At Mandarin Oriental.
He's here through Friday. Yes.
Yeah. And he comes to town a couple weeks a year. And
3 times a year. He usually comes for 11 days.
Yeah. And what did you think of him? Because he's an interesting character. He's the mad scientist of the food world.
He's incredibly humble. It's like he has no idea how amazing he is. He's just like, I'm like, what is your inspiration? He's like, well, I talk to my chefs in the kitchen, and they give me inspiration, and I'm like that's it?
Yeah.
Come on, you don't.
I was warned about him
Yeah?
by one of our mutual friends before he came to town and said, don't get too friendly and chummy with him because he's kind of the real rock star. He's the Bono. You can't just be like him the way that you are around Robichon or Guy. And I found him quite the opposite. I found him very nice and easy to hang out with.
He was delightful. He was, I couldn't, first of all, I had no idea how much time I had. I had a long list of questions, and I said, I'm just going to go down my list, write down answers, and if he lets me keep going, I'm going to keep going. And I found him, there's the language barrier.
Yeah.
French is his first language, English is not.
He speaks English much better than Joël Robichon speaks English.
Well, Joël does not.
Right.
So that is, but you can go through a translator for him and things get lost in the translation. Whereas with Pierre, he did have some difficulty. And it was, I think my disappointment in the interview is that reading it is not the same as being there.
Well,
it was very difficult to understand. He sounds...
It's hard to understand. People can sound more pompous, or they can sound, in the printed word.
Right. And it seems like he has short answers. It seems like he was maybe evasive, but things, it was like trying to...
It's still a really great interview, and you got a lot of cool things out of him. And one of the things, especially, I'd love people to know, read the whole interview, but the coolest thing, because I spend a lot of time on this show sometimes with fine French chefs, and tell people not to be afraid of their restaurants.
Right.
And you asked him, if somebody wants a hamburger in Twist by Pierre Gagnère, would you make a hamburger?
Yes.
And he said, absolutely.
Then that was hilarious to watch him answer that question, because he was like, we've done it. We do it.
Right.
And I thought he would be like, oh, no. But yeah, he did. Obviously it was with black truffles.
Right. Well, no, not black truffles and brioche. That's horrible.
He did a hamburger.
You have something else coming out, Top 38 Restaurants?
The Eater 38 comes out on Monday.
Why do we need that? We already have a book called Eating Las Vegas, the 50 Essential Restaurants, which I think, it has 12 more than you.
True.
And so why not just, instead of writing your article, tell people to buy my book? That would have been better.
Well, we need someone out there to be controversial and have, since obviously the paper of record for the state of Nevada would never do such a thing. I doubt that she's eaten at Joël Robichon or Guy Savoy or Twist. But to have something else out there as a comparison.
I don't want you to give it away, because, of course, everybody's going to have to wake up right out in bushy-tailed on Monday and check it out at 10. That would be early for me.
Get up. Yes, I know.
Depending on what I did the night before. But
True.
10 p.m. I'm always up by, so maybe I'll check it then.
Okay.
So are you concentrating mostly on strip restaurants or off-strip restaurants?
So I haven't started writing it yet. I have a list. No. Hey, easy.
I haven't even thought about the list yet.
I think it goes up Monday.
She's like, I'm going to champagne brunch on Sunday and writing it up there.
I don't know. I'm going to get drunk and be wasted all weekend and write it. No, I've compiled the list, but it's kind of marinating with me. I've been thinking about it. There's something. It's right now I have like 15 or 16 off strip, the rest on strip. I was trying to have a nice balance between, a little bit of inexpensive, a little bit of very expensive, a little French, a little
How many
Italian.
of your 38 are in my book?
I don't know exactly.
You're going to have to cross-reference.
But I will say that one restaurant, maybe two, that are in your top 10 are not on the Eater 38.
Well, that is why you are not as good as me.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, eater.com. It's vegas.eater.com if you want to read the local stuff. Great stuff there. Again, Susan and her staff do incredible work.
Staff? My cats?
Do
Susan and the cats are doing great work.
Great original writing, but also you link to all of the idiots around town, like myself, who are doing writing.
I thought you meant Heidi. I'm sorry.
No, you don't link to her very often, unless to mock her.
Only on Fridays, and only to mock her is Marilyn Haggerty.
Yes. But so anyway, vegas.eater.com. In the meantime, one thing I did forget to tell you guys. Again, we're still trying to raise money for the kids at Silverado, and we're doing it. They're doing it again. Our friend Jolene's doing it again at the Saturday night truck stop on the 7th. So not this Saturday, the following 7th.
I'm judging.
Saturday. I think Gary's donated some dinners from some of Michael Mina's restaurants that they'll be raffling
Awesome.
off. Which one? Nob Hill and Nob Hill and Sea Blue, two incredible restaurants. So Gary has donated those. I think it's $20 for a raffle ticket to win an incredible meal. So come out to that on the 7th. Definitely support the kids. Buy my book because she doesn't know what she's talking about.
I don't.
Eating Las
I really
Vegas,
don't.
the 50 Essential Restaurants. Follow me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Al Mancini Vegas. And what else? Next week, Brock Radke, another one of our local writers, is coming in. We're going to hear what he has to say about John Curtis next week on the show.
Oh my God, I might have to be in the audience for that.
And we're really going to be talking a lot about the local food community here in Vegas and some of these events, not just the truck stop, but other things that are coming up.
Chow Downtown.
So tune in next week. Yes, Chow Downtown, and I would tell people about that, but it's sold out in
It's
like
sold
a minute.
out.
So anyway, tune in next week. Thanks a lot.